Now we will learn that what is meant by process and what is CPU scheduling. So in this video we will see that what is a process. In computer system it is said that it is a program processing device. So if it is a program processing device, then all the activities that we are performing on the computer system are considered as running a program. So let's say a Word document that you are using can be said as running a program. A Paint application that you are using can be said as running a program. And all the different types of activities that you are doing on computer system, let's say you playing MP3 file or let's say watching a video, all these activities are considered as running a program inside the computer system. Now, so computer is considered as a program processing device. Now in operating system, the process plays an important role. As far as the computer is concerned, it is a program processing device. So now we will see that in operating system, what is meant by a process. A program in run is considered as a process. A program in run. So a process is something which is created in an operating system in order to execute a program. So if the computer is a program processing device, then in that particular case, what is needed to run a program? So to run a program, the processes are needed. Now the big question is, how does the process looks like, or what is the process basically? Because when we execute a program, the program is available in the secondary storage. So from the secondary storage, the CPU cannot execute the information or the data that is available into the secondary storage. For that purpose, it has to be taken into the primary storage. And inside the primary storage, it has to be taken inside the main memory system. So at that particular time, the process plays an important role. So where we can observe the process, it can be considered as a program in run. For example, at the time of compilation, the process can be observed. And inside the operating system, the process is considered as a real thing. And the program is considered as a virtual thing. You will say that the program is the actual thing, and because of that, all the activities inside the computer system are happening. I do agree that, but to run the program, the processes are needed, because without the processes, a program cannot be run. Now, so the process is considered as it is a real. For example, let's say a body of a person can be considered as a real thing which is visible by naked eyes. And if the program is virtual, then I can say that a soul, for example. So a soul is a virtual thing that is not visible, but the body is the thing that is visible. In the similar fashion, if I apply this analogy to the operating system, then the process is considered as a real thing. Because when I say that the computer is a program processing device, at the same time I must agree that to run all those programs, there are lots of processes that are running in the background. And because of that reason, the programs are executed in the foreground, or all the applications are running in the foreground. So a process is a real thing and the program is a virtual thing. Now the question is, what is a process, or how does the process looks like? Now the process looks like in the main memory as a small data structure, and that particular data structure can be represented like this. Now what are the contents of this data structure, or I can say that this is nothing but a process diagram. So this is the actual process diagram. This is how the process looks like in the main memory system, because this is the location where the processes are residing. So as like a program, the process also do have its own requirement. So the requirements are like, the process has 3 different sections. So the very first section, it is known as a stack section and the heap section. This section is basically utilized for dynamic memory allocation, because when you are running the program at that particular time, the processes are actually executing that particular program. So if your program is needing the space, maybe in the secondary storage, maybe in the primary storage, in the similar fashion, the process will going to need the memory. So for dynamic memory allocation, we are using stack and heap. On the other hand, static and global variables are needed for the process, in which these variables are declared once and they can be used for multiple times. As you know that the global variables can be used throughout the program globally, because let's say you are using hundreds of functions, and for all those functions you want the common variable, you are using a global variable. In the same fashion, the static variables are also helpful inside the program. So this is a variable which is needed for a process. Process also have an executable function, because what is the basic property of a program? The program is made for execution. And if I will say that to run the program, the processes are needed. So process must have all the different attributes that are needed for a program. So program also is made for execution. In the similar fashion, a.out is a function which is executable function for a process. Static and global variables are needed because these variables will going to help in storing the data, and the executable function will help in executing the functions, and the memory is needed because there are lots of processes that are created in the background to run a program, and for that particular program, for that particular process, the memory is needed. Now the stack. So stack is basically utilized for function calls, and the stack grows downward and the heap grows upward. So what is this particular scenario? The scenario is, let's say some of your program may need less amount of a stack memory and it may need more amount of a heap memory. So that is decided, at runtime. It may happen that sometimes more amount of a stack memory is required and the less amount of a heap memory is required. So it is like, some of the students use one notebook for 2 different subjects. So what do? They start the first subject from start and they start the second subject from last. So they write like this particular fashion for first unit, and they for second subject they start writing from the last page, then second last page, then the third last page. So if the space is still available, they can utilize that particular space for some another subject or for some another purpose. So like we write the information in one notebook for multiple subjects. So this is how the stack and the heap grows like. So stack grows downward and the heap grows upward, so that the complete memory space can be properly utilized. Next, the static and global variables, and the last one is executable function. So this is the exact diagram that how does the process looks like, and this is all about what is meant by a process and how does the process looks like in the operating system.